The Galactic Conservation Corps had 3 fundamental rules for newly discovered worlds: document without interference, observe without contact, and under no circumstances touch the wildlife. Commander Zixter had repeated these rules 17 times during the mission briefing. Somehow, he should have known that humans would find a way around them. Anna Chen stood in the clearing of planet Verdius 7, her regulation conservation suit covered in mud and what appeared to be purple pollen. Beside her sat a creature the size of a small bear, with 6 legs, crystalline scales that shimmered in the binary sunset, and enough teeth to make a shark jealous. The creature classified in their database as a Vedician apex predator. Threat level: Extreme was sitting obediently, one massive paw raised in the air. "Good boy, Sparkles," Anna chirped, tossing the creature what looked like a protein bar. The apex predator caught it mid-air and made a sound somewhere between a purr and a rumble. Carter Rodriguez emerged from behind her, datapad in hand, shaking his head with a mixture of exasperation and amusement. "You named it Sparkles. You actually named the most dangerous predator on this planet, Sparkles. He sparkles, doesn't he?" Anna defended, gesturing at the creature's iridescent scales. "Besides, he's not dangerous. He's a sweetheart." This was precisely the scenario Zixter had feared when the human contingent joined the Conservation Corps. Humans had a reputation, a well-documented, ostensibly studied, utterly baffling reputation for befriending anything with a pulse, or without one, in some cases. The galactic community had learned this the hard way over the past century of human integration into interstellar society. Carter glanced at his chronometer. "Zixter and the team will be back in 15 minutes. You know he's going to lose all 3 of his minds when he sees this, right?" Anna waved dismissively. "What's he going to do? Sparkles was injured when I found him. That gash on his side was infected. I had to help. The protocol says to report injured wildlife to the medical team. The medical team was 3 hours away, and he was in pain." Anna's voice softened as she ran her hand along Sparkle's scales. The creature leaned into her touch, its crystalline surface catching the light. "I couldn't just leave him suffering." Carter's sighed. He'd known Anna for 5 years. Ever since they'd both joined the Conservation Corps, this was exactly her pattern. Sea creature in distress. Ignore all regulations. Somehow survive what should be a fatal encounter. Gain an unlikely friend. On Sigma 9, it had been a venomous sky serpent. On Kepler 4, for to be a pack of what the locals called bone crushers. Each time, she'd emerged unscathed, with the creatures eating out of her hand, sometimes literally. "At least tell me you followed some safety protocols," Carter said, though he already knew the answer. "I kept my scanner running the whole time. His biochemistry is actually fascinating. The crystalline structures in his scales aren't just for show, they're a complex sensory network. He can detect electromagnetic fields, temperature changes, even emotional states through hormone detection." Anna's eyes lit up with the enthusiasm that had made her one of the Corps' best xenobiologists. "That's probably why he knew I wasn't a threat. He could sense I wanted to help. Or," Carter countered, "he was too weak to eat you and figured he'd wait." "Don't be silly. Sparkles would never eat me. Would you, boy?" She scratched behind what Carter assumed were the creature's ears, though with alien anatomy, it was hard to tell. Sparkles responded by rolling onto his back, exposing his belly. All 6 legs in the air. Carter captured the moment on his datapad. The commander is definitely going to use this as evidence in whatever formal complaint he files. Let him file it. I'll show him the medical scans. Sparkles had a bacterial infection that would have killed him in 48 hours. I saved his life. By touching the wildlife. By being humane. Anna's tone turned serious. "That's what they don't understand, Carter. All these other species in the Conservation Corps, they can observe suffering with clinical detachment. They can watch something die and call it natural processes. But humans, we can't. We see something hurt, and we have to help. It's not a choice, it's who we are." Carter couldn't argue with that. It was the same instinct that had driven humanity to domesticate wolves into dogs 10,000 years ago, to rescue stranded whales, to rehabilitate injured birds. The galactic community found it simultaneously endearing and terrifying. Humans didn't just observe nature, they inserted themselves into it, reshaped it, befriended it. The distant hum of the transport shuttle interrupted their conversation. Zixter was returning. "Quick," Anna said. "Help me teach him to shake hands before they get here. If they see he's trained, they'll understand. That's your defense, that you not only touched a wildlife but also altered its behavior patterns. Would it help if Sparkles greeted them politely?" Carter laughed despite himself. "You're absolutely insane. Insane enough to survive first contact with a Verdician apex predator." Anna grinned. Come on, Sparkles, paw. The creature extended one massive paw. Anna shook it solemnly, then produced another protein bar from her pocket. Sparkles' eyes, all four of them, tracked the treat with laser-focused dot as the shuttle's landing lights illuminated the clearing. Carter found himself thinking about humanity's place in the galactic community. Other species brought superior technology, ancient wisdom, mathematical precision. Humans brought something else, an irrepressible need to connect, to nurture, to turn the wild into friends. The shuttle door hissed open. Commander Zixter descended the ramp, his three heads turning in unison to take in the scene. The human, the apex predator, the obvious signs of interspecies bonding. All three of his mouths opened simultaneously. Miss Chen, please explain why you are Sparkles. Say hello, Anna commanded cheerfully. The apex predator sat up, raised one paw in what any human would recognize as a wave, and made a friendly, chirping sound that seemed physically impossible for a creature of his size. Zixter's three heads looked at each other, then back at the scene before him. Carter could see the commander's resolve crumbling and this was the human effect. Somehow, they made the impossible seem reasonable. His name, Zixter said slowly, is Sparkles. Yes, sir, Anna replied, utterly unrepentant. The commander was silent for a long moment. Then, barely audible, Carter heard him mutter in his native tongue, humans. It wasn't a complaint, it was something closer to resigned admiration.